Bueno, muy buenos días a todas las personas que empiezan a unirse a nuestra sesión informativa. Es un honor tenerlos con nosotros en este evento virtual donde vamos a explorar temas clave relacionados con todas las oportunidades que ofrecen diferentes instituciones en el mundo con las que Colfuturo tiene acuerdos de cooperación. El día de hoy estamos con la Universidad de Sheffield, quienes se unen a Colfuturo en esta ocasión para compartir conocimientos, experiencias y todas las perspectivas que enriquecerán sin duda alguna su proyecto académico. En esta sesión informativa se van a abordar temas relacionados a oferta académica, opciones de financiación y muchísimas cosas más. Me presento, mi nombre es Karen Martínez, soy integrante del equipo de Consejería Académica y Relaciones Internacionales de Colfuturo y el día de hoy estoy muy bien acompañada con Kate, ella es representante de esta institución académica y nos va a ayudar a resolver cualquier inquietud relacionada. También estará acompañándonos Sebastián, él es estudiante beneficiario de Colfuturo y también llega hoy a compartirnos toda su experiencia y sus mejores recomendaciones para todas y para todas. Quiero recordarles que esta segunda mitad del año estamos realizando este tipo de webinars con todas las universidades de convenio, entonces los invito a estar muy pendientes de nuestra página web y redes sociales para que puedan inscribirse a estos espacios. Ya para dar inicio a esta sesión y sin mayor preámbulo, les quiero contar a todos que en el marco de nuestro acuerdo de cooperación con la Universidad de Sheffield, se ofrece una beca del 20% para todos los beneficiarios y dos becas de 7.000 euros en las facultades de Artes y Humanidades, Ingeniería, Medicina, Odontología y Salud, Ciencias y Ciencias Sociales. Sin duda alguna son oportunidades y privilegios muy grandes que tenemos gracias a este convenio entre Colfuturo y la Universidad de Sheffield, así que nuevamente la invitación es a que aprovechen al máximo este espacio. Kate, thank you so much for being here today with us. We are so happy to have you here, so you can go ahead and start your presentation. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Karen. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming today. Welcome to this presentation on the University of Sheffield. As Karen kindly said, my name is Kate Oyebode. I'm the International Recruitment Manager at the University of Sheffield, and I support students applying to us from the Americas. And I'm also joined today by one of our current students, Sebastian, who is studying for his PhD at the university, but also did his master's with us and was a COLFUTURO recipient of the sponsorship, the discount, and then also one of our own COLFUTURO scholarships. So I'm going to start today talking to you a little bit about the city of Sheffield, in case you've never visited us before or not heard of it. And then I'll talk about the university, scholarships that we have available with COLFUTURO and the support that you'll receive as an international student. And we'll also hear from Sebastian about his experience. And then finally, I'll talk a little bit about how to apply, and then we'll have time at the end for any questions. Okay, so the University of Sheffield is in the city of Sheffield, which is in the north of England. It's about an hour away from the nearest international airport, and that's the Manchester Airport. And it's 2 hours away from London, the capital of England. So you can fly into either destination or other airports around Sheffield. It's very easy to navigate around the UK using public transport, which is affordable and safe. And we also provide a pickup service for students who fly into Manchester Airport, and I'll talk about that a little bit later on. So Sheffield as a city is one of the largest cities in the UK. It has very safe and affordable public transport to get around the city, which includes trams and buses. There's also taxis, but most students just choose to walk around, and you can see from the map there, the slightly lighter section here is the university campus. So that's where all of the university buildings are and the student accommodation. We have two separate sites for our student accommodation. And you can see that we're a city campus, so it's very easy to get from the campus into the city and back, which is particularly good if you are considering part-time work while you're studying, or if you just enjoy going out to socialize, to shop. It means you don't have to worry about being able to get back to your accommodation or your the university buildings. It's very easy to navigate around the whole city on foot. We're also sixth most affordable student city in the UK. So we have a very low cost of living, 10% cheaper than the national average and 25% cheaper than living in London or the south of England. So if you're considering a university in the UK, you want to also consider the cost of living. And we're going to talk a bit more about that later on. But Sheffield, once you're here, is very affordable to live in. We're also the greenest city in the UK. We have lots of parks and gardens in the city that you can enjoy and on campus. And we are part of the Peak District National Park, which is a huge area of natural landscape. So if you enjoy hiking or mountain biking or rock climbing, Sheffield is a great choice. We are known as the outdoor city, and it's very easy to get from the city out into the Peak District where you can spend some quality time. And the city as well has two universities, the University of Sheffield and also Hallam University. And so about 30% of the population of the city are international students. So it's very welcoming, very modern, a very inclusive mindset. And we do have a big Latin American scene with bars and club nights, as well as a student society. So you'll get a very international experience while you're studying with us, but you'll also be able to connect with other Spanish speakers, other Latin Americans, make friends, find ingredients if you want to cook food from home. So we hope that you'll feel very at home once you arrive with us in Sheffield. So a little more now about the university itself. We attract around 30,000 students per year. So we are a large university with 5 different faculties. We recruit from over 150 different countries. So we are a top 50 most international university in the world. We're ranked 92nd in the world in the QS World Rankings and 98th in the world in the Times Higher Education World Rankings and 12th and 15th in the UK, respectively. We are a Russell Group university, which means that we are a research-intensive university, and 92% of our research is world-leading or internationally excellent. So when you come to study with us in Sheffield, your lecturers are current researchers. They're at the forefront of their field. So you know that what you're learning will be the most up-to-date, the most cutting-edge research, ready to prepare you for further research if you go on to study a PhD, or you'll have everything you need to be able to go out and get an excellent career after you graduate with us. As I said, we have 5 faculties. So these are the faculties of arts and humanities, engineering, health, science, and social sciences. So we have a huge range of different subject areas that you can study with us. I've listed some of them on the screen there, but there are more available. But these are some of our most popular. We're very well known in the UK and globally for our engineering studies. So we have 9 different engineering streams, including aerospace, chemical, civil, computer sciences, structural engineering, mechanical. So a very well-established engineering department. But we also rank very highly for many of our other areas like biosciences, also our business school, for law, things like philosophy, physics, and music. So anything that you're interested in studying, we likely have a course that you would enjoy doing. And our master's courses, like most of England, are 1 year long in general. So it's a 12-month course starting in September. And just to mention there as well, the course fees range from around 20 to 30,000 pounds per year. And as I say, for the master's course, it's 1 year long. So we want you to have an amazing time with us at the university and enjoy your studies, but we also are very focused on your career after you graduate. So we have a top 5 career service in the UK as voted for by our students. And the career service is very active from day 1, and you can use it for the rest of your life after you graduate. So we have CV and interview workshops where they can help you on your resume before you're applying for jobs. We also can arrange one-to-one alumni mentoring for you. We regularly invite leading employers onto campus to meet with you and talk about what they are looking for in prospective applicants. If you're interested in paid placements or volunteering opportunities or part-time work while you study, the career service can also support you in applying for those things. And you can work for up to 20 hours per week while you are studying as a student. So that's on your student visa. And as I said, you have lifetime support from the career service after you graduate if you need support finding employers. And we also have very robust alumni networks. So we're hoping once you graduate from us, you'll, wherever you are in the world, you'll become part of one of our alumni networks to support us in publicizing out to new students. Here, I've listed some of the employers that our recent graduates have gone on to work with. This, again, is not a full list. It's just some of the logos that I was able to find. So you can see a wide range of different employers there. And we have partnerships with all of these industries. We work closely with them to help us inform the curriculum that you'll be studying. Regularly, employers will tell us what they're looking for in their graduate employees, and then we'll make sure that you're learning those skills and having that experience on your course. I also wanted to mention our enterprise service. It's called Emerge. If you are interested in becoming an entrepreneur, you have something that a great idea for a business that you want to start, Emerge is an excellent place for you to go and do extracurricular activities while you're studying. They help to build skills and network as well with other entrepreneurs and other businesses so that you can develop your ideas alongside industry professionals. And then they'll support you if you're interested in launching a business, if you have a product that you're interested in promoting. You can get involved with Emerge while you're studying at the University of Sheffield. And after you graduate, they can still support you if you are a fledgling business. I'll mention as well our Students' Union, which is the #1 in the UK and has been so since 2017. So the Students' Union is the heart of the campus. It's where a lot of events and activities take place. So outside of your studies, you can join over 350 different sports clubs and societies. So these can be related to an interest like the Knitting Society or Model UN, or it can be related to your course, or it can be a regional society like our Latin American Society, which is very active and they do lots of events throughout the year. You can also join the regional societies of other countries, other regions, if you're interested in learning a new language or developing a relationship with people from other places in the world. You can get involved in their regional societies as well. The Students' Union also hosts lots of events. So there's comedy and music festivals, film nights. We have our own cinema at the Students' Union, theatre performances, and lots of other activities. And they have shops for food, for clothing, toiletries. They have their own bars and club nights, and also an international supermarket at the Students' Union. We also have our advice and guidance centers there, including the International Student Support Team. So if you have any questions or concerns during your time at the university, you can go to the Students' Union for advice with money, with work, part-time work, if you have any questions or concerns about your housing, or if you're interested in switching visas, because after you study in the UK, if you decide to stay in the UK, you can get a 2-year post-study work visa. That's if you're not being sponsored by someone who requires you to return to your home country. Okay, moving on now, I'll talk a little bit about scholarships at the university and also the support that you can expect from us while you're studying with us. So as Karen mentioned at the beginning, we are partnered with COLFUTURO and have been for many years now. We do offer a 20% course fee discount for all COLFUTURO students, and we have 2 additional £7,000 scholarships available, which also act as a fee discount. So you'll receive the 20% off your fees and then an additional £7,000. So you don't need to apply separately for the scholarships. Your application can be made to COLFUTURO to secure the funding, and then you can just, they will inform us that you have been successful. You'll get your fee discount, and then the 7,000 scholarship will be applied. You can see the university websites for all terms and conditions related to these, and please do ask at the end if you have any questions. We also have an automatic scholarship that is available to students, which is worth £3,000 as a course fee discount. And there's no additional scholarship application required for this. You just have to accept your offer by a certain deadline, which is usually in June or July. Again, you can see the university website for all of the terms and conditions related to that. So those are the 2 main scholarships that I wanted to make you aware of. Moving on to accommodation. So after your university fees, your accommodation will be the next largest cost that you need to consider. So the university provides a guaranteed accommodation for all of our international students. It includes all of your bills, so your electricity, internet, water, everything is covered. And it's between usually £7,000 to £9,000 per year. And that fee difference depends on the kind of accommodation you want. So the standard offer is an apartment, or a flat as we call it in the UK, with a central living and kitchen area, and then 5 or 6 bedrooms sharing that central area. The most affordable option is a shared bathroom. So you would have 2 or 3 bathrooms between those 5 to 6 students. So you would share your bathroom with another student, but your bedroom is all private. The middle accommodation cost is for accommodation that is an ensuite bathroom. So you have a private bedroom and a private bathroom, and then share the kitchen and living space with your flatmates. And then the most expensive option is a totally private apartment. They call it a studio apartment that you don't share with anybody. So there's a slight range there depending on what you want. As part of your accommodation, you also receive a free events and activities program with lots of different things that you can get involved with, including trips to other cities, activities in Sheffield, sports events. So there's lots of things that you can get involved in through residence life, and that's available for all students who stay in university accommodation. Then finally, you also have 24 hours a day maintenance if anything breaks, and also 24 hours a day security. So all of the accommodation is swipe card access, and you have access to anyone to come and repair anything if anything breaks. So that's the university accommodation. You can see virtual tours of the accommodation on the university website. If you are not going to come and visit us in person, please do see on there, and also on YouTube. You can find lots of videos made by our students of their accommodation and the city, so that you can see what it looks like before you arrive. Another option is private accommodation. So we do have lots of private student accommodation available in the city. It can sometimes be slightly more affordable than university accommodation, slightly cheaper. And I would encourage you to look at that option as well. We do have our own office called the Smart Move Sheffield office, which is based in the Students' Union, and they will support you in finding private accommodation if that's something that you're interested in. So they will advertise external accommodation. They will proofread your contract before you sign it to make sure that it is all in good order and there isn't any hidden fees there. Last thing to mention about the university accommodation you can split your accommodation payments into 3 separate installments, which can be useful to help spread the costs across the year. So that's everything that you need to know about university accommodation. Well, I've included some information here as well about living costs, because I know that that's obviously a question a lot of students have. So the university fees and your university accommodation are the big two things that you need to be considering in terms of costs. Once you arrive in Sheffield, as I mentioned, is relatively inexpensive. I've taken these figures from the university website, which estimates that you should budget around £350 a month, which is just over £4,000 per year for living in Sheffield. And I'll be interested to see what Sebastian thinks about this, because from other university students that I've spoken to and my own experience when I was a student, I would say that that is high estimate. So I think you can afford to live much more inexpensively in Sheffield if you would like to. And we have some tips here about how you can reduce living costs. So some of the things that you can do to live more affordably. The first, of course, is walking around campus. As I said, most students don't pay for taxis or public transport, and they'll just walk. It's also good exercise. But if you do want to use public transport, then students can get a discount on public transport like the bus and the tram. So it doesn't have to be very expensive to travel that way. I'd also recommend not buying all of your textbooks brand new before you arrive in Sheffield. That we have excellent university libraries that will have your course textbooks available, and you also have the opportunity to buy second-hand textbooks, so you don't need to buy everything in advance of you coming. As a lot of students leave the university, they will give their textbooks to second-hand bookshops in the city, and then you can go and buy them there secondhand. It's also a great recommendation to cook at home. So if you are living with flatmates or if you're living on your own, cooking at home, buying ingredients and preparing food at home is a great way to save money. But if you do go to eat out at restaurants, you can also get a student discount. I would also recommend using charity shops and swap shops if you're interested in looking for clothes while you're here. A lot of East shops also provide a student discount and loyalty schemes. So if you use websites like Totem and Unidays or Student Beans, you can find lots of different discounts for buying electronics, clothes, toiletries, etc. Another good recommendation for Sheffield specifically is to use the Moore Market. That is a big indoor market that's in Sheffield city centre with lots of international vendors that sell meat and fish and vegetables and lots of ingredients. So if you're cooking from home, that's a great place to buy your food. And there's also the Too Good To Go app, which operates in the UK, where shops and restaurants will sell their food for a very small price at the end of the day. So you might have a platter of sushi or sandwiches or pizzas that have been prepared, and then the restaurant is not going to be able to sell them. So if you're happy to wait until later in the evening, you can go and collect that food for a very small price. And as I mentioned, you can also work for up to 20 hours per week on a student visa while you're studying in the UK. So if you would like to be able to supplement your income, that's a good way to do it. And I will, so I'll find the figure for how much you could expect to earn per hour so that you'll be able to calculate how much you'd be earning. And I'll put that into the chat. So final slide before I hand over to our current student, Sebastian. So I wanted to just mention the support that is available from the university. As I said, we have a dedicated international student support team, and they will help you throughout all of your time at the university. If you have any concerns, if you want to change your visa, we have qualified visa advisors in that department. And so they'll be able to support you with any questions that you have. They also run a visa advice center, which, as I say, for changing to the 2-year graduate route visa, that's an excellent team to go and talk to if you have any questions about that. As I mentioned at the beginning, we do have an airport pickup service, and that's available from Manchester International Airport. So you can register for that on the website before you arrive, and they will collect you at the airport and bring you over to Sheffield and help you get settled into your accommodation. So please do register for that if you're interested when the time comes. And we operate an orientation week. So this is usually in the 3rd week of September. We'll have orientation week for all of our international students. It's not compulsory, but we do recommend it because it gives you time to come and get settled in, and get to know Sheffield, your accommodation. And then the following week, we do intro week where our home students join as well. And so everyone is on campus, and there's lots of activities and events that take place. And then in the 1st week of October is when the majority of classes start. So definitely do keep an eye out for orientation week when it's getting close to you arriving in Sheffield. They do a lot of different events and activities, like a conversation club to help meet new people and practice your English. And they provide coaches to go and visit other cities and places of interest so you can get to know the UK a little bit better. You'll remember from the map at the beginning that Sheffield is very centrally based to the rest of the UK. So it's a great place to be able to go out from and explore. So lots of things that are provided by the International Student Support Team while you're here with us. Okay, so that's everything from me. I'm going to take a quick break and hand over to our current student, Sebastian. So Sebastian's a PhD student. He also did his master's degree with us at the University of Sheffield. So he's a PhD student in the School of History, Philosophy and Digital Humanities, and also a graduate teaching assistant at the university as well. Thank you so much for joining us today, Sebastian. I'll hand over to you.
Hello, Kate, and thank you for the very comprehensive presentation. I think it's going to be hard, actually, to complement what you've just said, but I will certainly try my best to add some, perhaps, tips about my experience. I hope you don't mind if I switch to Spanish now, for
No,
the sake
please
of
do.
nuestra
Please
presentation.
do.
Will that be all right? Okay. Bueno, buenos días, me presento. Yo soy Sebastián Pineda y como dijo Kate, soy un estudiante de doctorado en la Universidad de Sheffield. Estoy terminando el último año de mi doctorado, estoy apenas a unos meses de entregar mi tesis y antes de eso estuve haciendo una maestría en la universidad, al igual que lo que ustedes están planeando hacer. Eh, digamos, sumando a lo que ya dijo Kate sobre la ciudad y sobre, digamos, los costos de vida que tiene, creo que algunas cosas que se me ocurre que podría agregar es eh, que digamos, a veces es difícil de mencionar desde Colombia, cómo puede ser esa cuestión, digamos, de los costos de vida en comparación con los costos que pueden tener las cosas en nuestro país. Y algo que me ha sorprendido mucho recientemente, ahora que yo estoy, digamos, en Bogotá, en los últimos meses de mi doctorado, es que mirando para atrás a todos los años que duré en Sheffield, los costos de vida allá son en muchos casos más económicos, digamos, es más fácil a veces vivir en Sheffield, siendo una ciudad pequeña en el Reino Unido, que en una ciudad como Bogotá, por ejemplo. Entonces creo que eso le da a uno una idea más o menos clara para aterrizar un poco las cifras a nuestro contexto colombiano de cómo pueden ser los costos de vida allá. La ciudad, digamos, añadiendo a lo que también ya dijo Kate sobre las, digamos, facilidades que tiene, es una ciudad con una atmósfera cultural muy vibrante, tiene muchas, algo que siempre me gustó mucho de Sheffield es que tiene muchas tiendas independientes, muchos cafés independientes, librerías, si es la clase de cosas que les gustan a ustedes. Entonces existe, digamos, siento que reúne lo mejor de dos mundos. Es una ciudad que es suficientemente grande como para tener mucha vida activa, hay muchas cosas que hacer, muchos restaurantes, eventos culturales, pero también es una ciudad que es lo suficientemente pequeña para que se sienta amigable y para que sea caminable, por ejemplo, es muy verde. Entonces, realmente, digamos, al menos en mi experiencia, creo que el hecho de que esté terminando un doctorado después de hacer la maestría ya ha sido muy positiva en la universidad. Eh, de nuevo, de los lugares en los que estuve en el Reino Unido, yo diría que es probablemente el más amigable de todos, la gente es fantástica. es fácilmente caminable a todas partes, entonces no tiene que preocuparse uno mucho por los costos, digamos, constantes de mes a mes. Y la universidad también, de hecho, tiene muchas facilidades para estudiantes internacionales. Siento que hay un acompañamiento muy bueno en términos tanto de vivienda, por ejemplo, yo, como Kate ya mencionó, yo viví en las residencias universitarias por la totalidad, digamos, de mi tiempo en Sheffield durante la maestría, una residencia compartida como la que seguramente la mayoría de estudiantes de maestría llegan. Luego también viví, la universidad tiene como family accommodation, entonces viví ahí con mi esposa, luego con mi hijo, y en cualquier caso siempre hay como un acompañamiento muy personalizado a los estudiantes que hizo que yo ni siquiera tuviera la necesidad de buscar vivir en el sector privado, que también es una posibilidad, digamos, para los estudiantes internacionales. Em, en términos de algo que también es muy interesante de la ciudad, es como también ya dijo Kate ahorita, está muy bien ubicada en una parte relativamente central del Reino Unido. Entonces, si les interesa viajar por el resto del país, es muy fácil hacerlo, tanto por tren, digamos, que creo que es lo que la gente normalmente pensaría, pero también una sugerencia que me hubiera gustado que me hicieran antes de ir al Reino Unido es que también es muy fácil viajar por bus, por coach. Es mucho más económico, de hecho, que viajar en tren. Y es a veces incluso igual de rápido porque las vías son muy buenas. No sucede lo mismo que puede suceder en Colombia, que viajar por bus a veces en las carreteras puede ser algo tedioso y largo, sino que es bastante cómodo y agradable y pues se ahorran 10 veces el costo de un tiquete de tren. Entonces, en términos de poder conocer el resto del Reino Unido, es muy fácil volar a Europa, si quieren hacer eso también. Es, digamos, no hay aeropuerto en Sheffield, pero es muy fácil ir de ahí a Manchester o ir de ahí a Londres. Eh, entonces es una muy buena ubicación para estar. Aparte también, digamos, pensando no solo en viajar a otras ciudades o a otros países incluso, sino también, digamos, de el lugar en el sector en el que está ubicado la ciudad eh, está ser pegado, digamos, a lo que Kate dijo, es el Peak District, que es un gran parque natural, que es muy hermoso. Entonces, uno puede ir literalmente caminando desde la ciudad por entre los parques y salir de un momento a otro en cuestión de una hora, digamos, al campo. Y eso es algo que creo que es una ventaja que pocas universidades y pocas ciudades en el Reino Unido pueden ofrecer, que uno, así de fácil como uno está en la mitad de la ciudad, pueda terminar saliendo al campo y a las montañas y a los lagos y pues no sé, creo que realmente, de nuevo, mi experiencia ha sido muy positiva en la universidad. Inicialmente llegué como becario Colfuturo, después de haber ganado también esa beca de 7.000 libras, que obviamente es un gran alivio para los costos de matrícula. Llegué allá con la intención de hacer mi maestría, pero se presentó también la oportunidad de conseguir una beca doctoral, que creo que si les interesa también esa clase de cosas, creo que la universidad es muy buena motivando a los estudiantes internacionales a aplicar para esa clase de cosas. Entonces, eh, afortunadamente pude conseguir una beca y con la misma universidad, ya no a través de Colfuturo. Colfuturo fue muy flexible, digamos, con los términos de los pagos en ese sentido, porque ahí, digamos, uno puede esperar a que uno termine el doctorado para poder empezar con los pagos de la maestría. Y sí, realmente creo que de nuevo la experiencia ha sido muy positiva. Es un lugar en el que he sido muy feliz realmente y yo creo que, de hecho, incluso si pudiera escoger un lugar para vivir así como a ojo cerrado, sin duda escogería Sheffield. A mí me encanta esa ciudad. Entonces, quizás lo último que añadiría también, que quizás puede ser un poco extraño pensando para un estudiante que ha hecho su pregrado en Colombia y eso, y que es una gran forma de conocer gente, es las societies, ¿no? En la universidad tienen muchas, y las universidades británicas tienen muchas societies de distintos temas. Hay unas, como Kate ya dijo, que son regionales, digamos, o culturales, hacen referencia, digamos, sociedades, hay sociedades latinoamericanas, sociedades africanas, etcétera, etcétera. Pero también hay sociedades que giran en torno a toda clase de intereses personales, hay sociedades de videojuegos, hay sociedades de, digamos, equipos de deportes. En lo personal, por ejemplo, algo que me ayudó mucho a conocer mucha gente en Sheffield y a hacer muchos amigos al día de hoy es haberme involucrado en una society, que en mi caso era la Catholic Society. También hay, digamos, ahí sí, sociedades religiosas, musulmanes, Sikh, etcétera, etcétera. Pero en general creo que la society es una gran forma de conocer gente que quizás no es muy familiar para nosotros en nuestro contexto colombiano, en las universidades, pero que sin duda ayuda un montón en términos de sentirse involucrado con la ciudad. Entonces, pues realmente no sabría mucho más que añadir a lo que como ya dije, Kate presentó en esa presentación, porque es bastante y muy bueno, pero quizás me interesaría más, y estoy seguro que Kate y Karen estarán de acuerdo en escuchar cualquier duda que puedan tener y pues responderlas sobre la vida en la ciudad de Sheffield.
Así es. Bueno, Sebastián, muchísimas gracias por compartir con todos nosotros tu gran experiencia. Sin duda alguna, eres como una fuente de inspiración para todas las personas que están empezando a construir las bases de este proyecto académico en el exterior. Así que mil gracias por estar aquí, por tu experiencia también. Kate, thank you so much for this amazing presentation. So yes, we have a couple of questions for you. And the first one is from Natalia, and she asks, do you have a private English exam, or do we need to get an English international certification as IELTS or TOEFL?
An excellent question. So I actually have a slide about this. So let me just provide this information for you, Natalia. Thank you for this question. So if you are applying to us for postgraduate courses, as well as your bachelor's degree in a relevant subject, you will need an IELTS exam or a university equivalent. So that can be TOEFL, the Cambridge IBT, etc. If it's an IELTS, it's usually a 6.5 overall with a 6 in each component. And then the equivalent in another university test if you're taking that one instead. We do have our own University of Sheffield English Language Teaching Centre, which you can come to study ahead of your degree, so as a pre-sessional course. So that's for students who have taken an external exam and then they've not quite got the grades that they expected, that they hoped for, and they haven't met the entry requirement in English, and then they can come to us to study like a top-up course. It can be from a year up to a couple of weeks, depending on how much support you need with your English, and you can do it online or in person. But the majority of our students will take an IELTS or a TOEFL or a Cambridge IBT test. Also, while we're talking about entry requirements, so for the majority of our postgraduate courses, we do require the equivalent of which, depending on how your university is grading, and that's a 3 out of 4 on your GPA or 70% out of 100. Some of our courses do accept a slightly lower entry requirements as well. So please do get in touch, Natalia and everybody else, if you have any questions. Also, it is free to apply for a postgraduate degree. You can apply directly through the university website, and you can apply for multiple courses just with one application. So it's nice and straightforward. You don't need to have your final certificates from your degree or your final English language qualification to apply. You can upload those at a later date once you've applied. And applications open in September, ready for the following September to give you time, obviously, to receive your offer and then apply for a COLFUTURO, your accommodation, etc. And as I said, they're 12 months long for the master's degree, and you can defer for up to 2 years. So if you apply to us and then you don't receive the scholarship that you're hoping for, or for any other reason you want to delay, you can defer for up to 2 years without having.
Perfect. Okay, thank you so much. We have another question, and it's, if I want to start studying in 2026, when should I apply to the university?
Okay, great question. So you could apply from this September. So the applications will open at the beginning of September 2025. And we will aim to get back to you after you've applied within 2 weeks. Sometimes at very busy times, it can be up, but we try to get back to you as soon as possible. And if you have any questions or concerns about your application, you're very welcome to get in contact with me. Actually, I have a slide with my email address on. So my email address is there on screen. You're very welcome to email me with any questions, as well as being able to get in touch with our student ambassadors, which is current students, and also attend Sheffield Live student panel.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And the last question that we have is about job. It's possible to have a job meanwhile I am studying?
Yes, absolutely. So you can work for up to 20 hours per week during term time while you're on a student visa in the UK. And I personally worked the whole way through my degrees. So I did my undergraduate, my master's, and my PhD all at the University of Sheffield. So like Sebastian, once I was here studying, I just wanted to stay. And now obviously I work for the university. So hopefully that's a good recommendation. So you can find part-time work at the university, at the Students' Union, which is where I worked, and also in the city. Some of it is like bar work or restaurants or retail. But if you're working at the university, that's good because they're very flexible to prioritize your studies, and they also pay a higher wage than. And I can see Sebastian has his hand up. Please come in.
Thank you. I'm going to switch to Spanish again, just
Yes,
so I
of
can not
course,
mixing
please.
up things. Um, entonces, sí, eso es algo que quizás estaba olvidando mencionar. Aparte de haber estudiado mi maestría y estar terminando ahora el doctorado en Sheffield, yo también he estado trabajando, digamos, he trabajado por varios años en la universidad. Durante el doctorado estuve dictando algunos seminarios, que es como parte de lo que hacen la mayoría de estudiantes de doctorado en algún punto, como Graduate Teaching Assistants, perdón. Y es un, digamos, muy buen trabajo, pero ese no está disponible para estudiantes maestría, pero sin embargo también trabajé para la universidad durante 3 años. Empecé creo que hacia finales de la maestría y también una buena parte del doctorado para Residence Life, que Kate mencionó, es como un servicio que ofrecen las residencias de la universidad. Yo trabajé como mentor de Residence Life y fue un trabajo muy flexible, digamos, la universidad es un muy buen empleador porque al ser la universidad misma la que emplea a los estudiantes, naturalmente que entiende que por las cargas académicas a veces se requieren ciertos grados de flexibilidad que a veces un trabajo en el sector privado quizás no puede ofrecer para un estudiante. Entonces, fue muy fácil de balancear con mis estudios. Siempre fue una gran fuente de apoyo, paga, como dice Kate, por encima del salario mínimo. No recuerdo la cifra exacta, pero creo que un salario de mentor de Residence Life era algo así como entre 11 y 12 libras la hora, creo, con un límite de 20 horas semanales, que es lo que uno puede trabajar. Pero también tenía incluso otros beneficios. Por un tiempo, no estoy seguro si ya sea el caso, pero por un tiempo, por trabajar en la universidad, nos hacían descuentos en los costos de vivienda, digamos en las residencias mismas. Yo recibía como una suerte de descuento por vivir en la universidad. También tenía beneficios como en los cafés y los restaurantes de la universidad. Creo que era casi todos los productos, digamos, de comida y de café y lo que sea, a mitad de precio. Entonces, eso reduce drásticamente los costos de vida para un estudiante en la ciudad, aparte de tener un trabajo que disfruté mucho, de hecho, y que siento que es uno de los highlights de mi experiencia ya también, no solo como estudiante, sino también un trabajo que disfrutaba mucho y que fácilmente era manejable con la carga académica tanto de la maestría como del doctorado. Entonces lo recomendaría muchísimo, es posible, y la universidad, de nuevo, está feliz de recibir estudiantes internacionales a esa clase de trabajos también.
Perfecto, Sebastián, gracias. Y para cerrar la sesión, te quiero dirigir la última pregunta y es si nos puedes hablar un poquito de cuál fue esa diferencia de pronto cultural o de pronto en temas del sistema de educación que más te marcó al llegar al Reino Unido.
Ok, esa es una muy buena pregunta. Yo creo que, digamos, podría tratarla en dos partes. En cuanto al sistema educativo, es diferente, algo que suele ser un choque, por mi experiencia hablando con amigos y todo, para los estudiantes internacionales en el Reino Unido, es la forma en la que se califica, ¿no? Para que se hagan una idea, digamos, una muy buena nota en el Reino Unido, una MAC al final de un curso o lo que sea, sería, digamos, una nota de 70, como 70 sobre 100 es un first. Eso en Colombia, digamos, si uno lo traduce literalmente es un 3,5, que es una nota que no es así, digamos, de buena comparativamente, pero eso a veces puede ser un poco confuso. Creo que eso fue un poco un choque cultural, pero uno aprende a entender que, digamos, se califica distinto y uno aprende a entender muy rápidamente el sistema. Eh, en términos, digamos, de cómo suelen ser la vida diaria universitaria, digamos, como en la universidad, no noté unas diferencias tan profundas a como suele ser. Yo estudié en Colombia, en la Universidad Nacional, y creo que, digamos, para mi sorpresa, de cierta forma, digamos, de buena forma, sentí que fue muy fácil la transición hacia el sistema de educación británica. No sentí que hubiese sido como un salto así como durísimo y llegué y no tengo ni idea de lo que estoy haciendo, sino que no, fue una transición suave Entonces creo que el sistema en algunos sentidos se parece bastante. Digamos, la calidad de la educación es muy buena. eh, Futuramente también acá pudo ser muy buena y entonces no hubo una transición, digamos, un choque tan fuerte. Y ya en la cuestión cultural, sí creo que es donde saltan muchísimas más diferencias. De nuevo, también por mi experiencia con muchos amigos internacionales y particularmente latinos, a algunos les choca a veces como la cultura latinoamericana es un poco como más abierta y no hablamos más duro, más rápido incluso. Y eso puede ser un choque a veces para la gente, sin duda. Eh, pero en mi experiencia personal realmente fue fantástica. O sea, yo creo que yo hice un gran esfuerzo cuando llegué a Sheffield por mezclarme no solamente como con estudiantes colombianos y latinoamericanos e hispanohablantes, sino también mucho con estudiantes británicos. Y realmente es muy fácil, bueno, digamos, es fácil establecer amigos y la gente en Sheffield es particularmente amigable. O sea, yo realmente no creo haber conocido una ciudad más amigable que esa hasta ahora. Em, entonces sí, es distinto. Naturalmente la gente no es como latina, pero son, digamos, la gente en Sheffield y en South Yorkshire al menos en general, suele ser muy, muy amigable. Es una ciudad muy amigable, es muy fácil hacer amigos. Y de nuevo, algo que me ayudó también mucho a involucrarme en la vida cultural de la ciudad, a sentirme como feliz estando allá y que creo que a veces es algo que le puede costar a todo estudiante internacional es enterarse de las cosas que ocurren, digamos, de eventos, involucrarse con eventos. Ya mencioné las societies, pero ya pensando no solo en la universidad, sino en la ciudad misma, algo que me ayudó mucho a sentirme a gusto, digamos, a mí, fue haber empezado a ir a ver a uno de los equipos de fútbol de la ciudad con regularidad. Entonces yo empecé a ir mucho al estadio a ver al Sheffield Wednesday y eso creo que hace que uno se sienta involucrado no solamente con la universidad y con la comunidad universitaria, sino con la ciudad en la que uno vive que, como me dijo mi director de tesis del pregrado antes de irme a estudiar al exterior, es muy importante, ¿no? Estudiar no solo en una universidad que sea muy buena y que tenga una alta calidad académica, sino que también quede en un lugar agradable donde uno se sienta bien, ¿no? Entonces, esa clase de cosas, de nuevo, como ir al fútbol o ir a conciertos, eventos en la ciudad, conocer cafés, librerías, hablar con la gente, hace que uno se sienta muy como parte del lugar y no solamente como que estoy aquí de paso o eh, limitado, digamos, a lo que es el puro ámbito académico, ¿no? Y creo que eso también es parte valiosa de la experiencia de estar en el exterior.
Perfecto, Sebastián, gracias. Y ya con esto, con todo lo que nos acabas de mencionar, ¿cuál sería esa recomendación final que le darías a todas las personas que se están preparando?
Eh, en general, digamos, o sea, creo que supongo que las personas que están escuchando hoy son estudiantes que están decidiendo todavía a qué universidad
Ujú.
aplicar y todo. Les recomendaría, digamos, una recomendación que sin duda me daría a mí mismo si mirara para atrás sería pensar en los costos de vida. Creo que es muy importante cuando uno se va a hacer una maestría. A veces es fácil pensar como, bueno, tengo una beca de Colfuturo que me dan el dinero para estudiar en cualquiera de estas ciudades, pero pues de nuevo, la beca también tiene un aspecto que es un crédito y yo creo que es un gran alivio, al menos para mí fue un gran alivio habiendo venido a Sheffield, que no era tan costoso, digamos, los costos de matrícula o de vida, como ya dije, como en otros lugares del Reino Unido, que es donde yo pensé estudiar, digamos, exclusivamente. Entonces, creo que ese es un buen criterio de selección, aparte obviamente de la calidad académica y todo. Y el segundo, que sí es muy difícil saber desde afuera, desde Colombia, sin haber estado allá, es eh, hacer el mayor esfuerzo por buscar una ciudad en la que uno tenga la impresión de que yo podría estar como en ese lugar, no solamente en esa universidad, sino ese es un lugar en el que creo que puedo imaginarme, ¿no? Tengo amigos, digamos, que han ido a estudiar a universidades muy buenas en distintos países, tanto de Europa como ciudades del Reino Unido, etcétera, y la calidad educativa es muy buena, pero de pronto la ciudad no es para ellos, los costos de vida son muy altos, o sienten que no tienen nada que hacer, o que a veces es muy abrumador, y eso afecta a veces negativamente la calidad de la experiencia que uno tiene. Entonces, pensar en estudiar en un lugar donde uno se sienta a gusto es muy importante. Y sin duda yo personalmente recomendaría Sheffield como uno de esos lugares. O sea, es un lugar donde realmente siempre estuve feliz, al igual que Kate. O sea, yo creo que hice mi maestría, doctorado y si pudiese me quedaría también allá a vivir. Entonces, realmente es un gran lugar para estar. La recomendaría bastante.
Perfecto. Gracias, Sebastián. Well, Kate, thank you so much again for this amazing presentation. I really hope to see you in the next opportunity. Your microphone is off.
There we go. Thank you so much, Karen. Thank you for having us, and thank you for everyone who's attended. If you do have any questions, please do get in touch. And especially thank you to current student Sebastian. Thank you for all of your insight. I'm sure the students will really appreciate hearing about your experience.
My pleasure.
Thank you
Sí,
so much.
gracias.
Thank you.
Gracias a
Have a
todas
good
las
day.
personas
Muchas
que están
gracias.
aquí. Que estén muy bien. Hasta luego.